Jazz age living, old fashioned sipping, pizzazz ain't missing, got the fat cats kissing lips. I bring the old age back.
Welcome to another amazing episode of Sunday Punch Podcast. Another guest, another podcast panel.
It's 2 weeks in a row now.
Dude, it's getting serious.
I think so.
It's getting serious. This is episode 7.
Next stop, sponsors.
No, actually, let me get to that real quick, but let's introduce our guest. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Go ahead, sir.
Mike.
Well, my name's Dirty Mike.
we literally before starting
Not
the
2
podcast
minutes ago
said, he's like, no, you can't call me Dirty Mike on the podcast. You can't.
We need
an
an alias.
immediately. Can I ask a question? Why do they
Go
call
for it.
you Dirty Mike?
I think it's because I'm very, very dirty. But also because it kind of doesn't make any sense. I think that's partially
Most
why.
importantly.
Well, Sean, when we first met Mike in Gainesville, you're the one who introduced us, and you said Dirty Mike.
That's
I'm
true.
assuming it originated through you. You are a fan of the nicknames,
The-
yet doesn't have one himself.
That's true. We're still working on shaving one down for myself. So I'll give a little context here. Dirty Mike and I met. Mike and I met in medical school at the University of Florida, and you're kind of so focused on school, you're getting to know people around you, trying to learn material nice and slowly. And then eventually one night came out, maybe after an early test, where we were all planning on going out to the bar, spending some time at Midtown, having some drinks, decompressing after a long session of studying and then a big test.
Sure.
And at some point, Mike's car gets involved with transportation, and it's this Volvo, XC70, Mike?
XC90.
XC90, excuse me, turbocharged.
AKA the garbage truck.
We try to get into
It's
this
a 90,
thing.
Sean.
We try to get into this thing, and you would have thought, well, I won't name an ethnicity, but a family of 9 had been living within it. I mean, there was coffee in Zephyr Hills plastic bottles melted down. There were undershorts from high school. There was God knows what amount of
I've got a good
female and
story
male
for this
clothing
one.
all over the part. So I think ever since then it was kind of predetermined.
Oh, okay. I went the whole nother way with it, but it's the cleanliness.
That's one part of the foundation. Of
Yeah,
this thing.
it's a vestige of the past. But I will tell you, one time when I was in college, I kept a gingerbread house in my car for a month.
You know me, I don't like to brag.
And we're talking Florida heat here.
And Florida heat, Florida fungus, and it was in the back seat. and
fungus.
Sometimes you get hungry on the way home, so you just kind of reach back, break off a piece of that gingerbread house, and eat it.
Oh man! Wow,
That's a true story.
Now that's
true
a true story. Okay, so you had a gingerbread. I want to break this down a little bit.
Let's open it up.
And then I do want to get into the sponsorship thing that we talked about 3 minutes ago. You got the gingerbread house from who?
This was so long ago, I don't remember. I stole it for sure.
You're sure it was like a date move, like you did this with a girl to like kind
Yeah,
of
it sounds
try to
like it.
bamboozle her?
You think that's something I would do?
Something I've done.
I know it's something you would do.
Well, Sean went out and got a Christmas tree and decorated it in the 2 days.
That's a Sean move if there's anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So he doesn't remember where he got the gingerbread house.
No,
Well,
no.
let's assume that maybe it was a Christmas miracle. It just appeared in his car.
Yeah.
And instead of bringing it in, it's a miracle, okay? It's been established. Instead of bringing the miracle inside to preserve it, he thought, let's just keep it in the car in the summer heat in Florida, in Gainesville.
If it's celestial, it won't decay. I mean,
Well, yeah.
that thing will keep.
Let me
He
tell
had
you,
to test if it was celestial.
it got a little soft, but I mean, the taste was still there.
Easier to break.
How long passed when you discovered this miracle in your car? How long passed, did you actually take a bite out of it?
I mean, I would say up to a month. and I only
Even the last day, right before throwing it in the
This is
garbage,
time
I
to
said,
go.
hello. There's a little, what do they put on there? Gumdrops?
Gumdrops. One piece
Yes.
of the fence is left. I better finish that off.
Okay, well, we've broken down why he's called Dirty Mike.
But wait, introduce yourself, Dirty Mike.
Yeah,
Who
do you
are
want to go with your profession or no?
I'll just say I'm like in a science field. How about that?
Well, that's
Okay.
accurate. That's accurate.
Sure, because are you sure? Because I had a question about.
Go for it.
He's a PhD.
But my question is going to literally reveal what, like, the specific
Let's hold until he's
route
ready.
that you want to go.
Let's hold until he's ready
right.
then.
All
Let's
right.
get him some more rock star. He'll be hyped
With
up.
B vitamins and Towery.
This might be a decent segue into the Gainesville news I have for today.
Oh yes.
Oh yes, since that's
And
where
this
we
has
met,
to do
please.
with Dirty Mike. Again, it's a vestige.
It's
of
like the Slim Shady of who Mike really is.
We'll just say it's like the vestige of mid-20s life.
Okay.
But the news is Cantina is officially demolished and they're replacing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Cantina is a legendary
The staple.
UF bar, which has been abandoned for
Mhm.
how long now?
Probably 4 years, 3 or 4 years now. It's been a long
yeah,
time.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's now been leveled and will be rebuilt.
Rebuilt is something else.
Do they know how? Because I thought like the previous owner wanted to.
Well, the
kind of
rumor is that the previous owner wanted to replace it with something that was worthwhile, not like a bar.
Another bar.
So I'm not sure.
The
what's gonna go
owner.
there.
The owner of the
of the land.
Of the
yeah,
land.
not Cantina.
Yeah.
Because
That doesn't
those
make
people
any
have no
sense.
long-term
Yeah.
plan.
The legend is this is like a 90-year-old woman who has high ethics and didn't want a bar in the spot that she owned.
That's where our friendships were forged. I mean, how many great relationships, meaningful long-term relationships, did you make, Adam, at Cantina?
I would say more meaningful short-term.
Yeah,
Meaningful
meaningful short term. Dude, I was to be honest, and this is really kind of sad, but the other night I was like closing my eyes and trying to reconstruct and like a full night memory, not from Cantina specifically, but from like a Gainesville night out. Have you ever done that? Have you ever just sat there and been like, okay, I remember like we were getting ready. It was good. You know, you're trying to like actually like,
Where did I start?
reconstruct
What
it in
happened?
your
Who was
mind.
there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, something awesome happens. and blah,
Something
blah, blah.
awesome.
And then you open your eyes and you're in Chicago
It's
and
winter.
and it's dark at 3:30.
Do y'all remember that the game with Gators versus Ole Miss where Will Greer came out of like the woodwork and just killed it, and then like the next week he was on PEDs.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
That was the coolest atmosphere in Gainesville I've ever experienced.
Mhm.
Were you at the
I was at Cantina.
Definitely Cantina.
And why was it so good? Just because everyone
You just
was like,
you just felt it. It was something different.
Something about that.
you know what it probably was is because at that point in time, and it's kind of what we're feeling now. It had
Yeah.
probably been so long since like you felt that because after Tebow there was Brantley and then
Morning Wag.
I don't even
well, for like one
Who's
game.
that?
But who was the other guy? The black guy, the smaller guy.
Trayvon?
Oh,
Yeah, Trayvon. I don't remember.
Free Trayvon.
He was tiny.
Yeah,
tiny guy.
so I remember a college scout at the time said this guy could be the next Russell Wilson. Wrong.
Wrong.
Incorrect. And then I'm like, what? The first throw, he went out there. I was like, this guy's clearly not Russell Wilson. I mean, he's like, first of all, 3 inches shorter than Russell Wilson, which is saying something.
No vision. Couldn't see over the line.
No, couldn't see over the line. But okay, but that's probably what that feeling was. Were they still doing 3-for-1s at that point in time?
Oh man, what was it, the Long Island Triple?
The Long Island
Yeah,
Triple.
and you could get it blue.
I don't remember that part.
Really?
No.
You could, yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah,
Get a
I'd
little
always get it
fishbowl.
blue.
I remember the fishbowl.
Mhm.
No, they'd always roll their eyes, but I asked for it blue.
Mix that blue.
I was like, "Can you throw some blue?" I just like a little blue food coloring in my drink. Can you? And an umbrella. Thanks.
Looks like a drink out of Star Trek from like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Vulcan
dude.
High
and
Command.
then your lips are all blue, and you look like you're suffering from hypothermia.
Just a little bit of Romulan ale, please.
Dude, those things are good. And I think it was Sundays. Sunday Punch. That's where it originated. That was the first
Sunday
Sunday Punch
Punch.
concoction. They would have 3-for-1s.
Sunday Fun Day.
Mm-hmm.
They had
But
tanks.
in
They had
addition
tanks.
to the 3-for-1s, they're like, here, the drink is $5 anyway, so here's a gallon of it. But by the way, every hour on the hour, we give you a tequila shot. It's like you spent like $5 and you're completely bombed. by the
It's
end.
really weird. We can't piece together a whole night there.
That's why I have to do my reconstruction, dude. I'm in like the Inception level. Like I'm trying to like build the dream.
Do you think Cantina would sponsor us?
Okay, thank
old
you.
Cantina.
Nice. Good
We're
job.
getting better. Episode 8,
Dude,
7.
I've been listening to all these podcasts and I absolutely hate it when they stop it and they're like, "Oh, and by the way, the Bears Wire is brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi's great." have a nice cold Pepsi while you're enjoying the game. I would rather, I think I told you this the other night after a few hot tatties or whatever they were called.
I love this scenario.
If they came to me with sponsorship money, I would take it. I would then give half of it to charity because
that's just the kind of guy you are.
Because the rest of it, I would have to cushion what I was going to do from then on out, so people couldn't come to me and say you're a monster. But I would do this. Give half to charity. The rest, Pepsi would be watching. They'd be like, "When's he going to say Pepsi?" And then I'd bring out the wheelbarrow of money that they gave me.
Plant it right here.
And I would burn it on film. And I would be like, I don't know who that's from. It's some soft drink. I think it's Mountain Dew.
I think it's Dasani sparkling water who sponsors us.
I mean, dude, I can't stand it, and I just wouldn't do it. It's just not who I am. I'd rather, that scene in Batman where the Joker piles up all the money.
I'm only burning my ass.
Yeah. And he burns it all. I thought that was so cool.
Awesome.
I love all the villains in the movie. You're supposed to be rooting against them. I'm rooting for them.
That's because
we'll get into philosophy later.
There's some element of morality to the evil people.
Yes. It was like, when he's like, this town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm going to give it to him. That was great. At least he stuck to his own morals. He didn't get corrupted by the money.
Or later in the film where he's with the character who's becoming Two-Face. The thing about chaos? It's fair. There's a certain beauty to that.
Dude, that's what I would do. So if you're wondering, if you want a sponsorship, unless it was just a normal one that I could keep and not talk about. Like if someone wanted to give me a nice drink, if someone wanted to give me a drink that just sat on the table that I never talked about that I actually enjoyed, then maybe.
Sunday Punch brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink.
Oh yeah, there's
also
a
don't miss Cyberpunk 2077, which has been pulled from shelves for all the glitches that's in it.
Really?
Thank you, CD Projekt Red. At least off the Sony store.
What is Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I don't know.
You want me to take this one?
Yeah, go. I don't know what you're even talking about. I'm assuming it's some sort of band.
We'll hit this, then we'll get into the sports. Cyberpunk 2077 is a role-playing game, first person. There we go.
Is it open world?
Open, relative open world. Yeah, relative open world.
What does open world mean?
As opposed to playing through a level with boundaries and barriers and a map you kind of have to flow through, open world is you could spin in either direction and walk to the edges of the map.
So it's like your life.
Like so all the storylines, all the quests, whatever you happen to be doing, accomplishments are happening in real time, and you pick them up within the storyline, and you're not actually like entering a level.
Is there an end to the game?
Yeah, so there's usually a main thread that you walk through, which is the main storyline with all these different side adventures you can have along the way that allow you to level up, get new equipment, do all that kind of stuff. So it's a futuristic world. I think it's supposed to be set in like an LA kind of area with different townships, which each have their own kind of specialty vibe to them. It's the latest installment from CD Projekt Red, who made the Witcher series. It's a European, I believe, Polish video game software company.
That's a lot of information there, man.
Tom Bird and I rap about this stuff all the time.
I just learned what open world was like 2 days ago.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
it's like playing too much Galo.
Didn't Zelda, wasn't that like kind of the first open world?
That's actually a really good early comparison. Yeah, I like that.
Because you could you could just like ride the horse around, like
riding on a horse,
and then
how about Grand Theft Auto?
So
that's
a great example. That's very open world. Open rules too.
Open world.
Yeah.
When you pick up a prostitute, that was like, why add that in the game? But okay.
And about every hour you're playing, you're like, I'm sick of doing this quest. Let me just get to the point where tanks start showing up and trying to kill me. But yeah, so this is the latest installment of that, and it was actually rushed out after multiple delays. Had so many glitches on it that CD Projekt Red, the producer, has refunded everybody that bought it.
Oh, really?
And Sony's actually pulled it from their Play Store where you can download it. So a huge letdown, especially after their last game, which was like award-winning, amazing.
What was that?
Witcher 3, Wild Hunt.
Witcher 3.
Did you play that one?
How often do you play video
with the expansion packs?
Let me rephrase this. How often do you waste time?
Every day. No, so it's no. Take the 2. as opposed to like coming home and watching like my Netflix or whatever. This
Or
is
reading.
or reading. Well, audiobooks are a thing now, thankfully.
Oh, yeah, thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Maybe like
You want, a little
1 hour a week, 1 to 2 hours a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
But you do that over a couple years in residency.
That's not bad at all. I knew people back in the Gainesville days. You wouldn't see him for a day. You'd be like, oh, where's he? He's playing Call of Duty.
That's what Iceberg used to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like Iceberg, come out to the bar. 3 hours go by. Iceberg, come out to play volleyball. Iceberg, where it's sunny. Oh, sorry, I've been playing.
Set up the character of Iceberg.
Mike, I think you're most qualified for this.
Iceberg. So we met Iceberg when we were 22 and he was 30. So that's just like
Okay.
to set it up.
Fantastic.
He's a
I'm like now I'm
We're now
picturing-
30.
Now I'm picturing
Now
like,
we're
just
30.
meeting a couple. 20. Actually, I would have done the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
It'd probably be a bunch of fun.
and he's
Looks like Crash Bandicoot.
walks like Crash Bandicoot. Also
He
looks a little
is
bit
Crash
like
Bandicoot.
Dane Cook.
Also, yeah,
He does kind of look like Dane Cook.
He's like sarcastic and dry, but deep thinker, interesting guy.
Many
And-
years to think
And
about it.
this guy was like Peter Pan for a minute, and now he's getting married.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just an interesting story.
Congrats to Iceberg.
Yeah.
I brought him up actually randomly on my Chicago Bears podcast
During the Lions game.
yeah because I thought of him.
Big Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna call up Iceberg. I'm not gonna explain who that is. I don't know if he wants to be on this, but yeah,
I bet he'll make it on the show one day
We can only hope.
after COVID.
Oh yeah, dude.
Is this a good time to tap briefly on the Bears while we're here?
Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and let's actually react because we were in the Gainesville vibe.
Oh, let's hit that
But
first.
but we can do the Bear. I can do a quick Bears
No, we
breakdown.
We should wrap up the Gators though.
Okay, fine. Well, fine, Sean. We'll do whatever Sean wants.
Sean's in
My
charge.
day.
Sean's in charge
My
now.
day.
I'm in
Oh,
charge.
you know what we used to call Sean?
I'm the captain now.
This is what we used. Sean's the dad. He's always prepared.
oh yeah.
We go to a pool party. He shows
like-
up looking all cool, but he's also got like the speaker set up.
Yeah,
he's ready
like,
to
I got
barbecue.
sandwiches.
Sunscreen for
Yeah,
everybody.
Sunscreen for. He's the dad.
Did you have an orange slice yet?
Actually, though.
Do you have
Oh,
an
yeah.
orange slice yet?
Oh man, that's Sean the dad.
Here's Capri Sun. Here, sip your Capri Sun. Yeah, Sean is always thinking about other. Although to be honest, I'm reading 48 Laws of Power,
Yeah, okay, go on.
and
Go off.
I'm starting to think that Sean is actually secretly evil.
Amazing book.
Are you serious?
Amazing.
No,
book.
I'm being dead serious, and it's okay. I mean, not evil, just following the rules of the book. So I don't know what if his end plan is to completely destroy us, then yes, evil.
Well on my
if
way.
the other plan is just hey, get a bunch of people to like really like you, then that's not evil. That's just
No.
reading a book and then,
That's playing the game of life, man.
yeah. But all of the rules, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen. Sean
seen
do
this
that.
move.
I've seen Sean do that. That's law 42.
Observance of the law. Transgression.
Great book.
Great
But
book.
To
Have
wrap,
Robert Greene?
I don't remember.
Robert Greene? Mike, can you check that for us? Robert Greene?
Yeah,
What
48
do we do?
Laws of Power. Good book. I like to go back and forth
Yep,
between
Robert
a
Greene.
fiction and a nonfiction, and so I'm on this one. But I'll probably continue on with that because I do want to listen to McConaughey.
Let me grab this, hold on.
Matthew McConaughey. So I got Sean a gift for Christmas. I saw the cover of this sponsored by Matthew McConaughey.
Brian, get in tight on that.
Yeah.
Get in tight, Brian.
It's called Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, and I thought rugged outlaw philosophy right up Sean's alley. Although I do like what I don't understand. Maybe he gets into why the book cover is not the same length as the book itself. Who knows? Matthew McConaughey is all over the place.
That'll be in there.
Yeah,
That'll be a chapter.
he would fit in great.
It's got a lot of pictures, which I like.
Did you read this yet, or is it? Is
No,
this a new gift, or did you read it?
I haven't read it. No,
Oh.
but it got great ratings, and
Let's put that up by
Yeah,
Roger. Hey,
yeah.
Roger, hold on that for us.
let's put So I usually go back and forth, but I think I'm going to go double nonfiction and go with Matthew McConaughey. Would have fit in great in Gainesville.
Mhm.
Matthew.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a Texas guy.
Texas Longhorn
he's
guy,
a
I think,
Texas
right?
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, can you imagine if he was a Gator? He would be still
Oh.
showing up to the game. It's like he is in Texas. That'd be-
Absolutely.
Why don't we have any alumni like that?
Let's be them. Let's be that guy.
I need to get.
Let's make it
when
big.
we get famous on Sunday Punch. I'm going to start showing up. I'm going to have my own philosophy book.
Matthew
It'll be
McConaughey-
called "Don't Look in the Mirror."
Matthew McConaughey in Gainesville would be like, good thing about college girls is I keep getting older, but they stay the same age.
Still
That's a
using
McConaughey
that
line for sure.
Still using that line.
That's Gainesville rules.
He would have fit in great. But I do want to wrap up the Gainesville thing before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
The game last night. What was that? I mean, the offense was amazing. Of course, Trask had his couple issues. I mean, he always has a few
Couple hiccups.
Dude, come on. Don't fumble the ball. But if you score, what was it? How many? 43, 46?
46 points.
46.
408 yards passing, 46
points. Dude, you got to win a football game if you're going to score 46 points. 52 to give up 52.
This brings up one of the philosophical questions we were discussing. Can you have both an incredible offense and incredible defense at the same time?
Apparently not.
Because I would say that Alabama giving up 46 points.
Sure.
Doesn't have
they're not a great defense either, unless Trask is
and they're number one in the country.
Good that unless Trask is just so good that he made him look. Although they gave up a lot of points earlier in the year. I forget.
I think
who's
they
the
did.
best player on Florida, you think?
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, easily.
Who was kind of an undershow yesterday.
Yeah.
But they were focusing so much on him that he freed up so much room for Tony.
Yeah.
That it was.
I think Tony's gonna be like a Percy Harvin / Reggie Bush in the NFL.
Yeah. You get a couple more pounds on that guy?
Yeah. Hopefully without the headaches.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was awesome, but he had some issues. Percy Harvin was the one who told me in a Gainesville bar that Brett Favre was coming back. I asked him straight up.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah, he was on the Vikings at the time.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
I said, hey, who's going to be the quarterback? And he's like, Brett Favre's coming back.
Wow.
Really?
I should have broke it. God, if we had this podcast at the time,
We have it from an inside source.
I would just be Percy, the title of the video. Percy Harvin says, no, that's too long. Brett Favre, Viking.
Brett Favre, Viking.
Question mark? You got to get that clickbait. Question mark? I don't know. You should probably watch.
Maybe.
Like and subscribe.
Speaking to that offense question, isn't it weird how like 10 years ago it's like Oklahoma, Texas Tech, just like this air raid offense, and we'd like say, oh, their offense is so good because the defense is so bad. And now the SEC is kind of turning into that with like just stellar quarterbacks.
That's a great point.
Because you think about quarterbacks 10 years in the SEC, it's like AJ McCarron. He was practical, I'd say, not
he's
good.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, that was what the SEC quarterbacks used to be, and now you got Trask. And,
now you have quarterbacks throwing
Jones.
40 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow
in an abbreviated season with COVID at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's the
That's a
deal?
great
What's
point.
happening? Like, why it seems like suddenly they're all terrible at defense. Is it just because of practice? You need to practice all that? Like, it didn't look like they knew how to tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
especially
trucking
the
their
Gators.
bodies out there.
They made that running back look like he was the best thing that's ever
Najee.
walked the earth.
Yeah, I mean, he is pretty good, but
Good. And is it that offenses are so much better, defenses are so much worse? And we also got to keep in mind, I mean, these guys are really under the gun now. Like they have to tackle a certain way. If they don't, it's targeting, then they're ejected, and then it's a 15-yard penalty. You know, we put a lot of new rules in place with respect to the defense over the last 5-10 years that we're just so much more picky on what they can and
it's
can't
harder
do.
to learn the position of wide receiver or like a cornerback or safety?
cornerback, definitely.
So that's probably why it's easier to be good at offense in college, at least, because it takes longer to be good at it.
Yeah, the different schemes, because as the receiver, you have your route, couple permutations, but you don't really have to know everybody else's. As like a safety
and
or
you
corner,
know what you're doing.
and you know what you're doing.
The cornerback doesn't know what's coming.
You're always a half step behind.
And the receiver can
Yeah.
kind of push off, and everyone like turns blind eye. But if the cornerback does anything, then it's 15-yard penalty.
Big scoring games get ratings. They get action,
100%.
and the big plays downfield that are called pass interferences or holdings that moves the ball down the field that gets points.
Would you rather have? I mean, I don't even. I was watching the game last night, and I was like, would I rather have a great defense and just a bad offense? But then it's like, at least what I'm watching is like exciting. Like I know, like, oh, we can score a touchdown right now easily. Whereas, like,
Or
if
throw
we
an
had
interception.
we're throwing an interception. What was that? When
Oh.
we intercepted the ball, and then
Yeah.
keep your head on a swivel, dude.
I think that game came down to like 3 plays, and one of them was that one.
Yeah.
And then because they like scored a touchdown right after that, and the other 2 were the pass interferences on that wheel route. where
It's like the third
Alabama
quarter or the fourth.
pretty much like held the running back or whoever it was, and it could have been a touchdown on those 2 plays.
Yeah.
So
And
it could have gone a different way.
before the half, scoring with a minute 20.
That was
Yeah,
and then
that was
that was
huge.
so obvious.
But to
Terrible
be-
clock
But to
management.
be honest, it's like after that, I was like, well, they're definitely going to get a field goal, but like they shouldn't allow a touchdown right now.
100%.
And it's like, dude, a minute, and then like it was so easy. It was like not hard at all. You just march down the field, and Alabama's going to easily win the national championship.
And
Easily.
and
What about Clemson?
No. Easily beat Clemson. They're going to play Ohio State first. I'm predicting Ohio State gets in at 4. Let's let them in. They played 6 games.
what about
And
A&M?
one was Northwestern.
What about Jimbo Fisher
Fantastic.
and A&M?
Yeah, good old Jimbo.
What about Jimbo?
I just don't think they'll give it to them. I would love it if they got in. Who's it? Okay, so Alabama, Clemson. You could kick out Notre Dame, so you could have Ohio State and Texas A&M. The guy last night, the announcer said, "Oh, you got to think Notre Dame's in." I'm like, "Why?"
No, you don't.
They got killed.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed.
Hopefully,
And the one game, the big game they won was when Trevor Lawrence was not playing,
Exactly.
and they barely won.
yeah. Hopefully, Notre Dame officially joins the ACC next year. What do you think?
I would because then they would actually have to
Do something?
do something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
play some real teams.
I hate Notre Dame.
But I think you probably hate them partially because they're independent and they always like finagle their way into the.
Yeah, that's exactly why I
conversation.
hate them. It's like you never play anyone. You're living on this aura from like back in the day that like somehow still gets ratings, and it's like every time you get a shot to play a team, you get crushed. I mean, remember
Unless
when they
there's
played
some-
Alabama like what was that 8 years ago or something? And they got beat like 50-0. That was Manti Te'o year.
Well, his girlfriend was distracted.
Oh my
She
goodness.
needed it back home.
That was funny.
What was that? Let's bring up another relevant topic.
We're right on track with
Another
the
super
notes.
relevant topic on Sunday Punch. Let's break down the Manti Te'o fake girlfriend
It
fiasco.
seems so relevant at the time that you look back and you're like, what the heck was that? What are we even talking about? That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, ESPN made it like
It
a
was
cover story.
weird though. I mean, he never recovered from that ever, and he never will.
He never will. Not in my mind.
Wow.
I didn't even know he's still alive, honestly.
You just thought he
You
died?
need a beer?
No, I'm fine. Do you have a sparkling water?
I'll take a look.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I'll take a look.
And then in the meantime, I'll break down.
So what's this conversation after the Gators?
Oh, after we talk, I wanted to talk about. Well, first I want to break down just the Bears. I want to break down a little bit of the fantasy gods, just because the Ravens-Browns game was, I mean, literally was a lottery. Like I could have bought a lottery ticket and had more chances of that winning than what happened in the Browns-Ravens game. So actually, I'll break that down right now. I'm in my fantasy playoffs. In the Browns, I'm down by like 34, and I have Nick Chubb and Jarvis Landry. There's no way I should lose or I should win the game. I mean, I would need 2 touchdowns. I needed both of them to do very well, and one of them to do exceptionally well, which Nick Chubb did. And then, of course, you're watching the game, and I'm watching the score, and it's coming up, and I'm like, they're just fucking with me, the fantasy guys. And I'm like, I know how this is going to end, because at halftime, I was only down by 11. So then going into half, I'm like, well, I'm down by 11. I got 2 guys. They should easily be able to get this in the second half. But, of course, it comes down to the last. I mean, everything in the second half. Watch your step there. There you go. Everything in the second half. Good. Everything in the second half, they got down, they would give it to Kareem Hunt instead of Nick Chubb. So there's the fantasy gods fucking with you again. Jarvis Landry can't put anything together. So he's not catching anything. So it's like within 3 points at this point. Because they're just getting like regular yardage, blah, blah, blah. And like it's coming down to the last quarter. And of course, I thought it was pretty much over. I was down by like half a point. And
It's a White
that's
Claw.
when the Ravens. Oh,
It'll work.
okay. That's when the Ravens threw that bomb touchdown.
Oh yeah.
That was Lamar Jackson coming out. Did you watch the? You probably didn't watch the game.
No.
Lamar Jackson on 4th down, he had to go to the locker room. He had cramps. So the Ravens are like floundering. They're on 4th and 5. Like if the Browns stop them, they win the game. They have their backup in who just got injured. Lamar comes out of the tunnel. I mean, this is football god 101, dude. Lamar comes out of the tunnel on 4th and 5, puts on the helmet, gets in the game, hasn't played for an entire quarter, has cramps, had coronavirus 2 weeks ago. Comes in, first play, throws a 50-yard touchdown. I mean, dude, you can't make this stuff up because then the Browns get it back. They throw one pass to Jarvis Landry. I win by 1.8 points. Now, they're not done fucking with me. They will never be done until the day I die.
They is the gods.
The gods.
The Mount Olympus of football.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
There's
then,
members
so
like-
There's more than one of them,
I've
obviously.
bet. By the way, I've bet on the Ravens -3. The game is now tied. The Browns. I'm forgetting the timeline, but let's just put it this way: the Browns tie the game at some point in the 4th quarter. I think it was after this whole fiasco. No, let me go back. Okay, Lamar throws that bomb.
We're back to
The
the bomb.
Browns score a touchdown.
Respond.
The Ravens then score again, and then the Ravens get it, and they kick a field goal. So my bet has been washed, right? I'm like, oh, thank God.
Broke
At
even.
least, yeah, I thought I was going to it was for $200. I was going to lose $200, whatever.
Take a sip.
So
It's a flight to Houston.
I'm like, -3, okay, whatever. Didn't win that. I've won my fantasy game. I'm feeling pretty good. Browns get the ball back. They only have like 5 seconds. They start throwing the ball around, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my God. If Jarvis Landry gets this and like does some stupid ass pitch, that's -2 because it would be a
Right.
lost fumble, and I
Right.
would lose the game.
By
So now-
0.2 points.
Yeah, so now I'm like on the edge of my seat as they're throwing it, and of course Jarvis gets it, and he trucks it across the field, and the guy catches it.
And it has to be a reverse pass, which
Yeah.
means if it's dropped, it's a fumble.
Yes, he throws it, the guy catches it. He's like, they're going backwards, by the way. They're at the 20, they're going backwards. He's now at like the 8-yard line. I'm like, okay, Jarvis is all the way. Yeah, there's no way he even sees the ball again. This guy's getting like tackled. He chucks it behind his head to Jarvis, who's in the end zone. Jarvis then throws it behind his back, and the Ravens get it in the touchdown. I'm like, I just lost the game. I just lost the game. But he stepped on the line, and he got a safety, which in fantasy means nothing.
The gods intervene again.
So I won by 1.8, and then the cover. There was the cover, too. So I covered it with the safety.
My goodness.
oh, because the
gracious.
points came back.
The points came back.
How is that not
This is a
divine
conspiracy
intervention?
theory, man.
And I was sitting there like, I mean, it worked out in that scenario, but I've been on the opposite. I couldn't even be happy because I was picturing all of the other people that must have done something bad in the last week that the fantasy gods had to punish them. I feel like the fantasy gods look at whoever bet on the game, they put them in all these like piles of people, and they're like, this pile of people did more shitty things throughout the week.
Cake or death.
Yeah, cake or death.
It's kind of like a Christmas list. I mean, you were
Yeah, and
not-
they're like,
It is kinda like a
or
Christmas
they're evil. They're like, these people did too much good. Let's punish them. So I don't know how they work.
I need them angry for the week so they're meaner to people.
But to whoever lost that game off that safety, I feel so bad for. I feel bad. I mean, I won, but I do feel bad for the guy I beat in fantasy. Never should have happened. I'm now in my fantasy semifinals. I know what they're gonna do. They'll get me to the finals. I've been there 4 times. Never won. They'll get me there again just to twist the knife. And I mean, dude, it was just insane. And then last night was another kind of case study.
Ulcer-inducing.
Yeah. Okay.
I
We're
was
down.
gonna
We're down
say-
34-17. We fucking suck. We've lost the game. Of course, we come back. We get within 4, getting my hopes up, and then they twist the knife a couple more times, and then we lose. I mean, it's classic.
Would you say that fantasy football gives people stomach ulcers?
I'm definitely gonna die.
Have stomach ulcer? You just
Well, I'm
poop out
losing.
some
I'm
blood?
definitely gonna
Or a
lose.
stroke.
I'm losing. What? I don't know. Want to
Years
say
off your
I
life?
don't know about years, but I mean, I don't know. You're the doctor. How much can like extreme stress over a long period of time affect you?
Significantly good research in this field showing that chronic levels of increased stress, usually tied to things like socioeconomic status, money problems, job insecurity, unstable housing, etc.
Okay, well, it's
Gods of
none of those
fantasy
things.
football.
It's none of those things.
So you're telling me,
But
Sean,
to
you're
be
telling me-
honest,
Which they
to be honest, I would be just as stressed in that game if like
as if you were homeless.
as if my boss came in and said, "You're on thin ice, buddy." I mean, those are equal amounts of stress for me.
Well, then maybe.
Because, dude, if you win that championship,
I was
mean,
gonna
you
say,
don't know
why
the
do you do
guys
this
in
to
this
yourself?
league.
Yeah, why do
You
you
don't
do
know-
this to yourself?
You don't know the guys. I've been in this league for a decade now. If you win the championship, it's got to feel so good. I've never won, so I don't know. But I've been there. I'm the Buffalo Bills, dude.
You're the Buffalo Bills.
What do
0
you
for
get
4.
if you win?
Usually we put in around, $300, $400. Next year it's going to be $650. So next year would be like $6,000 if you win. Plus, I don't care about the money. Money means nothing. If you didn't understand, I would burn a wheelbarrow of cash in the middle of this living room. The trophy
It's the
is
trophy.
what means something to me.
I have an idea for a sponsorship for you, and it's Prilosec OTC.
Brought to you by Paralysis.
Just put that bottle on the front of the table.
That, what are some other ones?
We got a lot. There's a lot of potential ones to pull from. Prevacid.
I was pooping blood from this stress, but now it's resolved.
But we've covered that, thankfully.
Oh my God. So like to relieve the stress, I've become a little bit of a Santa Claus. Like after that game, I was like buying Christmas gifts for everyone in my family. Like I need to like feel good.
You need to get good in the eyes of the gods again.
Yeah. I need to get good thoughts again.
I like that
I won't
it's-
tell what I got, but it's pretty dope gifts that I got for both my brothers. And then, the kids aren't going to watch this. So I got the kids laser tag.
Nice.
I got,
Teaching them early.
I got my one nephew Goosebumps series. in a
Oh,
nice tin.
That's an old one.
Nice.
It's an oldie, but it was my favorite when I was a kid. And so that's how my gift giving works. I like it. I don't care if you like it. If I think
I'm happy
if I
giving
think
it.
I would like it, then that's what you're getting.
There's no selfless
Like
deed.
he loves video games. No, I'm not getting you a video game. I'm not getting you Crowd Punk 45 or whatever that one's called.
Crowd Punk.
You're getting. You're not.
About 10% right.
Close
The
enough.
real question is, we heard right before the cast, and if you want to share it, what your mother really wants for Christmas. You going to give it to her?
Wait a second. I'll get to it because I wanted to tell you the last gift, which you'll love. I
Crowdsourcing
then
too.
got my niece a coloring book, but the coloring book only consists of Nicolas Cage movies.
Really?
Yeah, and then she'll open it, she'll have no idea, and I'll just be like, "Look, Nicolas Cage," and she'll be like, "What?" And I'll be like, "He's the best actor ever." Color.
She's gonna turn to you and be like, "Oh,
What were you thinking?
It's not my Ferrari. It's not the Ferrari I wanted.
an A, a B, a C."
Enough with the mumbo jumbo. My mom, I don't know what you're talking about. I
Were you on
got
the phone
her
with her and she wanted
I
you to
got-
stay longer or something like that?
Yeah. I did get her masterclass.
That's what I'm getting my mom too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that idea. Mike, what
What's
do you?
masterclass?
It's you can watch a bunch of famous people teach you stuff. So there's cooking on there, there's photography.
Yeah.
Actually, there's videography. So I'm probably gonna watch
Videography,
one.
wine tasting,
Wine
and sharing and
tasting.
pairing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mike, what are you grabbing for the fam?
I got. Am I supposed to tell them before? I guess.
Well,
who's
are
gonna-
they going to
who's
watch
really
40
gonna watch
minutes? Are you
this?
going to watch 40 minutes
Good
in?
point. No one's watching. this.
At 3907, mute your podcast, Bass and Gilfan.
I got some gators. You know those like neck things
Nice.
for
Practical.
Are
Dad.
they a Gator?
Gator.
Nice.
Patriot Gator for Danny.
Patriot.
Nice.
We have the document.
Brother got the Dolphin Gator.
Give him the enchilada.
And then I got some weird pots for my mom and sister. One's a pig and one's a chicken.
Mike, your
It's kinda
spirit
out there.
animal is the pig, is it not?
That was my first
Oh,
favorite
yeah, it's
animal.
Dirty Mike.
It's his first favorite
Oh.
animal.
And he never sweats.
I gotta buy. It's called
Only
colored,
out of his nostrils.
everyone should look up Kohler's pig because that's the picture I have in my apartment.
Oh, that's the one you like.
Oh yeah, the one that's
Yeah,
jumping
it's
off the
flying.
dock. I love that.
That'll be my gift to you if you like get a nice studio.
Oh,
just put it right on the-
okay.
right
This
on the
isn't
wall.
enough. This isn't enough
yeah.
for Mike.
This is good.
I'm getting you
this
green
is good.
lights. I'm getting everyone I know green lights by Matthew McConaughey.
Never read it.
Okay?
That's amazing.
Like the Joe Rogan thing, like
Yeah.
his nice man cave thing.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't want you to share it on this episode, but our gift's taken care of for the lady friend. For
She
Carrie.
specifically asked for a pizza
Just slice of pizza.
stone
Oh, pizza
Oh,
stone.
nice.
from Williams Sonoma.
Nice. Ooh, it's quality.
I guess it's quality. I guess
Yeah,
I
what,
get to eat
what makes a pizza stone quality? Is it made of marble?
the price.
The price. It's like art. It's good if it's expensive.
It's 14 inches, I guess. That's pretty
Nice.
good.
Oh, that's larger than 12.
But less than 15. Good thought.
Yeah.
Very true.
What, didn't want to go for the 15, dude?
I don't know. Does that even fit in conventional? I think,
That's a good
I
point.
mean, like, I don't know. I mean, she just told me what she wanted, and I said, all right.
All
and
right.
I spent about 15 seconds looking it up and then bought it.
Perfect.
Oh, you didn't go above and beyond, like get something that she mentioned, like, oops, didn't get something that she mentioned like 18 months ago. I remembered. You
Maybe
write
it was the
down.
pizza stone. It
He's
probably
not
was
Sean.
the pizza stone.
He's not Sean.
Yeah, I mean,
He hasn't read 48 Laws of Power yet.
Sean's got the darkness and the memory.
Yeah.
Let me just, I just kind of like went past this, but you know what Machiavellianism is?
No, I don't.
It's
know.
A reference to
I
the
kind
prince
of do,
and
but
the
I-
ends justifying the means.
No, it's like a kind of a person that's deceptive, but they're like deceptive over the long run, so that the outcome comes in their favor.
Yeah, it's like very subtle.
It's subtle, and I wouldn't say it's bad, but I mean, like Sean's got a little.
Yeah,
bit
he's
of
a
that.
little bit
What?
of
He's got a
Machiavelli.
little bit of
Yeah, I can see it. That's in 48 Laws of Power, so he definitely read
got a little
about it.
But if you want to be successful, obviously you got to be like self-controlled and like
Yes.
a little bit self-serving over a period of time to become successful. I mean, it's not like a
you
bad
can't
thing.
get too high or too low.
A lot of good examples of it.
And you can never make enemies. And you got to let the people who have less power think they have more power. I know all of the tricks, Sean. Okay.
No,
You're
Sean-
not-
Read 48 Laws of Power.
Sean's got a good heart.
It's also in How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Mm-hmm.
Another good book.
Excellent.
Still
book.
relevant.
Well, you guys know who Jordan Peterson is.
Sure do.
Right-wing, evil person.
Evil.
I'm just kidding. But his, I don't even know where I was going with this.
Well, we were talking about
Okay, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
His point is that, like, in some cases, the ethical person has to be like a dangerous person. Like, you can't be a pushover. Sometimes you got to be the dangerous person to be capable of it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, maybe this is bad in certain situations, but in other situations, it's a good thing.
Is that what you're doing?
I'll let you know when I get there.
No, I mean,
When I write the memoirs.
But we all know people that are pushovers, and they're not gonna do the right
Yeah.
thing when push comes to shove. That's the point.
yeah.
They're
That's
just
the
gonna
difference.
go with the flow and let bad things happen.
Yeah, there's a very fine line. And yeah, sometimes you can't. Yeah, you
Is this-
got.
is this a- Is this a good time to touch on what is postmodernism
No.
like?
Yeah. Dirty Mike knows a lot about postmodernism.
I do
And
not
by the
know.
way, while I was watching football and the Gators losing and the Bears, 6-7, I was starting to lose kind of hope in all of the standards of life, really, and
Because of
all of the eternal truths that they tell you about.
If you will.
Yeah.
trying to prod me into a conversation here?
Show them the documents.
I'm trying to prod you
Show 'em
into
the-
some
show 'em the
postmodernism
documents.
talk.
My
dude.
MO is to buy a bunch of books and then get maybe like 10% into it and then think I understand it. If you
But I
know-
always put
look
the
at this.
bookmarks at the end.
This is deep into this is the beginning.
This is deep. He's through the intro. He's through the forward.
Anyways, it's we talked about Manti Te'o and that whole media thing.
Yeah.
And like, do you guys think the media is honest?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Do you?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Well, maybe on certain subjects, like boring ones, like when you get into like the Wall Street Journal, like business section. It's like,
Absolutely.
why do you got to lie about like what someone bought?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Why do you got to lie about like a company buying out someone? You know.
Yeah.
It's like those are probably true, but anything that's on the front page, it's probably It's true to an extent, but you got to spin it to have a little pizzazz. I'm in advertising.
So
I
let's
know
like
how they do.
connect this a little bit to sports, right? You remember at the beginning of the season when of this NFL season when the Patriots weren't doing too hot, and then Brady was killing it for a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and then like the media was like,
Go Bucks.
They're like, oh my goodness, Tom Brady's the best person ever, and now it's kind of flipped a little bit the opposite direction. So it's like, what is the truth here? And it really doesn't matter to them. They just kind of like spin it the way they wanted at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they desperately probably want Tom Brady to be awesome. So when he does anything kind of good, well, that's for all quarterbacks, though. It's like they get the lion's share of the credit, even though they probably shouldn't. I mean, when the Bears are doing well, it's not like Mitch was like amazing, but when the Bears are doing well and we're making the playoffs, it was like, hey, we got our quarterback, We got our future quarterback. He's going to the Pro Bowl.
We got our guy.
He went to the Pro Bowl. You remember that?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think that was the worst thing that could have happened to him, because then it's like, oh, I'm good.
So I guess the question here I would ask is the difference here was time. So is truth eternal or is truth temporal?
That's a good point. I don't know. That's a good point. Well, science, for example, is always evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And
as a scientist, you would be able to comment on this further.
as a scientist, I can comment on this. Let me tell you this. At the highest level, so I was studying like a type of cell in the eye called microglia. And during
Let him
going
go.
out there,
Let him run with
just
it.
going at, like,
No. I'm just saying, you kind of just revealed
well, they don't know a ton of stuff, but let's just say I was studying this cell called microglia, and there's like an argument about whether they contribute to retinal damage or help protect the retina. So there's like two different diametrically opposed things that they were thinking it could do.
And Mike, before you continue, which disease processes might our viewers have heard about that this would relate to?
This is
like macular degeneration. What would this connect to?
This is retinitis pigmentosa. You probably haven't heard about this, but it's a genetic disease that causes death of the cells in your eye that detect light.
Got it.
So
And then-
what would that like?
So blindness.
It's blindness, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it causes blindness.
Okay.
I thought everything was.
Eyes, sound.
So at the highest
I
level,
didn't know whether like everything was just like a shadow at that point. Okay.
So at the highest level, you have these like two opposite effects of this cell type during this process: helpful and then damaging. And then these cells are either in the retina from birth, and we call those usually microglia. And then sometimes when you get an injury, then you have inflammation, then you have the immune system come into the site of injury. Now there's a cell that's very similar to this, but a little bit different, called macrophage. And even at the highest level, they can't decide what to call these two things. Sometimes they say microglia and they mean both of these things. Sometimes they say microglia, they only mean microglia. But my point is, at the highest level of science, there is no absolute truth, and they can't even like pick a word to describe things.
Wow.
So it's like really inconsistent. But then you think about how at the highest level this is like inconsistent. Then you got the media trying to tell people
Filter it.
Yeah. What
something.
is correct?
It's just so confusing.
It's
so confusing.
So I
So
just,
would you call yourself a postmodernist?
That's the scary thing about I think
here he goes. Go off, King.
Wait, what are you gonna say? Let him collect his thoughts.
I'll buy Mike some time. So this is a great example of this. So I take some business classes at night. I recently took a class called Business Statistics, and we had some really interesting exploration of correlation, causation. What can we connect just from data, and how do we derive truth from that? And the spurious correlations you can find in data is Judaism is linked to eating tomatoes, for example, or
basically you can
falling down-
whatever your end goal is, you can probably morph it.
You can
into.
find it, and Mike can certainly speak to this more than I can. But ideas like p hacking, spurious correlation, you can really design ways. So a good example of this is women who are pregnant. There was a very, very focused study about whether or not eating chocolate influences adverse birth outcomes for these women, and the answer was no correlation. So by the time this reached mainstream media, it was eating chocolate could be helpful for your baby. And this was all over Fox News, headline news, these studies. It's like,
paid by Nestle.
Yeah, sponsored by Nestle.
Yeah.
So just like what you get out of this data is just so skewed and so spinned around by the time the media tries to filter it down, deliver it to us in a digestible form.
Well, I mean, you can make whatever news you want. I mean, if a big company wants, I mean, it's a PR. I mean, we need to get Erica, Travis's wife.
Only woman he's ever loved.
Whoa. We need to get her on the podcast because she could definitely explain
That'd be great.
the PR angle
That'd be
and
great.
how big companies come to you, and then you just, all right, whatever the story is that you want to get out, we'll figure a way to get it into a newspaper.
Oh yeah, it'd be easy.
Mike, you ready for your follow-up?
My
Are you a
follow-up-
postmodernist?
Are you
So
a
let's just say
postmodernist?
the point is like, what is truth? And there's like obviously a debate about what truth is based on what we just said.
Mhm.
And at one point in the past, I guess
Let me just touch on that real quick. So basically, the Bears could be good or they could be bad. It's
It's just how
really
you
there's
spin
no absolute truth.
and
right?
you could pick whatever statistic you want to support your argument.
Yeah,
Whatever you want.
and they do it all the time. And then we're gonna let you run. They do it all the time. I mean, with Mitch, they do it. They're like, oh well, actually, he has a higher percentage of completions during weeks 3 through 8 than Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. So now what?
How many new types of statistics in football are added? Or like baseball is a really good example.
Baseball's
Baseball's
great.
ridiculous.
Baseball is ridiculous. I mean, you could take whatever. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it that it's like whatever you want the end goal to be, you can find a way to kind of morph it.
My sister's really into this, and she's done some reading of Nate Silver, big statistician, 5830 or
Nate Silver.
About 38.
Nate Silver, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Statistician, and then I think helped design the Picada system that the Oakland A's used for Moneyball, basically, or the spinoff of there. And to your point, like when the moon is in a waxing gibbon in October, this pitcher has an ERA of 1.2.
But were they? I don't think they were doing that.
That's not what they were
insanity.
doing in
Yeah.
that. But to Mike's point, just like what you can do with statistics is just so insane.
Mhm. Nate Silver was one of the pollsters for the election this year.
Mm-hmm. Really,
He was one. Didn't he do the previous one too?
Probably, yeah.
he did Obama's,
But no, he did the one with
and he did Trump. And he got it
Trump and
wrong.
Hillary, and he got it
He
wrong.
was wrong.
I mean, they're all wrong this time too.
So
I
what's
mean,
truth?
anyways, yeah, exactly. What's
Yeah.
truth?
Was Trump even our president?
So
Is Biden?
don't get me into this.
Don't prop me.
Whoa!
I would say that.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Yeah, I would just say that Trump's probably not. It's not 0%, but it's not a big percent either. But, anyways, like at one point in the past, it was like religion and faith that was what
The
truth was.
Yeah.
You know, you still have elements of that today. And then, kind of during the boom of science, it was reason and the scientific method and things like that that became truth. And then there's issues with that too. And then nowadays, it's more like what feels correct, what makes the most people feel emotionally secure or something like that.
Mhm.
That's truth. So it's like keeps on ebbing and flowing through time.
That's my problem with like, I talk to my family members and stuff. It's like, you don't know any of this is true. Like I'm on both, like, I'm talking about politics, but like both sides of the spectrum. Luckily I live in a family that's all over the place.
Mhm.
So it's like the way you hear them talking, it's like I always question everything. Like I will never take in information and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go start like, telling people that's
Parade
the
around
truth.
and
It's
say
like,
that.
no, like, and that's like the problem, like to actually find your truth, I guess is what you would say it, what you kind of agree with or whatever it is. That takes months of like research and actual like digging into,
Deep thought.
and thinking, all right, I agree with these principles. And in this specific instance, I would agree with whatever the outcome is. But like just to like completely like read something one time, even if it's a full article, you read the full article. It's like, no, now this is what I believe. It's like, well, you don't know who wrote that. You don't know what the angle is. You don't know basically anything about it other
Right.
than the
You read
last
it.
10 minutes.
You read it.
So you should, there should always be a constant questioning. That's why I don't like hardcore, like, let's keep it in politics, hardcore, like Trump trained people. And I don't like
Or the opposite of
hardcore
that.
libs.
Populist,
It's
yeah.
like, you got to have some, like, wait a second. What he said right there, that was completely ridiculous. And I don't agree with that. And then on the other side, it's like, like some things that AOC says are completely ridiculous. So it's like, everyone has slices of themselves that are good.
Mm-hmm.
There's no overall, this is bad, that's bad. It's just
Absolutes.
keep questioning.
No absolutes.
And
I agree
but
with
is
that.
that postmodernism?
The scary thing about postmodernism is like I guess I'm not like
You're an expert.
I just started. I'm not an expert, and I tell you, it's very difficult to keep all this complicated stuff in your mind when you're like working 8 hours a day, like for 5 to 6 days a week. So I'd say I think there's elements of postmodernism where it's correct, and then there's parts of it where if you're a Machiavellian in person, that you could take advantage of it. Not you, but just like politicians, like the fact that emotions are the truth, or that each of us have our own subjective truth, that you could take advantage of that kind of like line of thinking. And I think we've seen that played out this year big time.
Sure.
So in reflection of 2020, let's just talk about maybe politics really quickly. Who are
another mango?
I got a little splash.
Here,
Okay.
read this.
That's all I got.
Sean just poured literally
That's all I
3
got left.
drops.
What do you got there, Mike?
Read
What do you
this
got there
page
for us?
on the left side.
So while Adam's reading through that, Mike, speaking of politics, your big winners and losers of 2020. Who is the big winner for you in politics 2020?
Big winner?
Yeah, it's the end of the year here. Who's the big winner?
The establishment. It's going to be a weird year next year. The thing is, I think as you look at like Biden's cabinet picks, I think it's just a rehash of the Bush Obama era, and then they've kind of like pushed the progressive agenda to the side.
I agree.
And like for example, Bernie's not in it. Warren's not part of it. John Kerry comes out of the woodwork to be the environmentalism person.
I missed that. Is he really?
Something like that. It's just like the establishment is coming back. And progressivism is getting pushed to the side. But the interesting thing about this year is like the censorship and like people trying to,
all that.
show you what the truth is, quote unquote.
Burden of proof is on the critics.
Yeah. And then I think 2021, what they'll see is that the progressives and whatever the MAGA / American First movement have in common is free speech. And it's going to be interesting to see if those two parties can kind of like get together, because it's going to be like a libertarian / progressive combination. I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure.
Adam, your big winners in politics this year?
I don't know, man. I really stopped like keeping up with it just because it was so like.
It doesn't make any sense. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. To me, it's just like I don't. Whatever, whatever happens. I don't know. It's a coronavirus year. Like things are so weird. I was just like, whatever. I don't care. I really don't.
I have a biggest loser in politics, and I think a lot of people would probably echo this. Rudy.
Yeah,
rough end of the year for Rudy.
that is the biggest loser for sure.
Tooting during a deposition.
Did he really fart?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was real?
He flagellated, like picked up by the microphone, and the I don't know if it was an aide, an attaché, who it was. There's this woman next to him, just Stonewall Jackson, just kind of a little quick side eye and was like, "All right, this is where I am."
And
This
he's
is where
like,
I
his
am in
hair
life."
dye's dripping
His
off
hair
his
dye's
head,
dripping.
and he's holding press conferences in some sort of like landscaping parking lot. It's just
With like
not,
a crematorium
it's
behind
not
him.
a good look.
He was
dude.
on Borat too.
He was on Borat too. Oh man, that guy really
That's my
makes
political
me
loser of
sick.
the year, unfortunately. Poor guy. You
Borat?
hate to go out that
Oh,
way.
no, not Borat, Rudy. He used to be the most popular person in New York too. Remember like 9/11 times? He was
Huge
like at the
turnaround.
Yankees game. Everyone's like, yeah. Now he's leaking. everywhere from
Leaking hair dye and
everywhere.
face gel or whatever he's got on himself.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Can I borrow this when you're done?
New
I
York.
didn't get to that whole book, but
When you're done.
you can use it.
New
yeah.
York is in some.
I think you can
problems.
borrow it now because I'm
Hey,
onto
speaking
something.
of New York, did you know that Andrew Cuomo was just banned from all restaurants for the rest of time in New
Why?
York?
Are you serious?
All of the small business or whatever association with restaurants came out and said,
Lifetime
"We
ban.
will never serve you ever again."
Really?
Dude, what's going to happen to the Chicago restaurants? Like, it's only
A
outdoor.
lot of closures. A lot of closures.
closures.
We were just at
Over
Hobson's
100,000.
the other 2 weeks ago, or was that last week?
Worldwide. Last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend.
You know, you're allowed to eat outside as long as it's inside,
As long as it's
outside
not-
of the inside.
Right. We're gonna
It all makes sense.
We're gonna put up a physical structure, wrap it in plexiglass and cellophane, call it outdoors, and
Watch the Bears
surely
here.
air particulate can't,
It makes sense.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
You can't eat inside, only inside outside.
Yeah.
Hello, it's pretty simple.
There's nothing more true than that, man.
Hey, that's the most true thing I've heard all day. Anything else?
We want to talk about quickly the McGregor fight.
Yes, I do.
We
wanna
previewed
talk
on
about
this. We
them.
previewed on
Well,
this.
I said I was going to break down the Bears' next couple of games.
All right, start there.
If there's anything that's definitely going to be true,
Start
it's
there.
my prediction
Start there.
on the Bears for the next 3 weeks.
If we've learned anything,
All right, I mean, this will
Is
be
this- is
dated after today, but I'm going to call it. I'm going to make myself like the
Is this based on
Nostradamus.
emotion or like reason? Tell me.
This is
Both?
I don't know anymore because
There's also a
the
religious element
Bears-
here with the gods of fantasy football.
we touch it all.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know because this is what I think the gods will do. Okay, the football gods, not the fantasy football gods. There's a difference. I think the Bears, and it's hard to say logic or emotion because the Bears are so all over the place that I don't know what to think of them. Like they look great versus the Texans defense is terrible, but okay, so they have the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are great. I think
Kickoffs in 15 minutes.
yeah, I think they can win versus the Vikings. I think they'll beat the Jags, and then the football gods in true form, the Packers will sit all of their starters, and the Bears will somehow figure a way to lose to all of the backups on the Packers and not make the playoffs. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because
Playing at home.
if they make the playoffs, there's an argument to be made that Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace stick around. If they don't make the playoffs, then they would get fired. So it's like, what do you want? Like, I want to see him in the playoffs. So maybe that's not a great long-term strategy, but hell, I don't know if I'm going to be here, dude. I want to see another Bears playoff run.
And
Shit.
would we agree that long term, the current administration at the Bears is
long term is
not the
not
winning
good.
solution, right?
No, he's proven time and
So
time
we need
again.
turnover. We need churn.
He's not good at clock management. He's already given up play call duties.
Great.
I don't think any of the players respect him. There's been rumors that him and Mitch don't get. Although Mitch would be gone, so I don't know. Do we take Kyle Trask? I've been set. Everyone chuckles, but he's gonna be there. He looked good last night.
It's gonna be there. When did the Bears draft?
I like. What is this like hatred towards Kyle Trask? Justin Fields apparently projected before him. Just struggled with Northwest. Well, he didn't struggle, but it's like he didn't do shit versus Northwestern. Why is he better? And Kyle Trask, who just dropped 418 yards last night versus Alabama, is now like some mid-round like thought.
Probably because he's so slow.
Yeah, but you can win in the NFL if you're. It's been. Tom Brady's slow too.
He does have a weird throwing motion. Like he throws off his back foot a ton. Trask.
He does make some bad
true.
decisions, but it's like if he's there, I don't see why. If you're gonna get rid of Mitch, it's like what's the solution? Is it Carson Wentz?
So here are Justin Fields' numbers against Northwestern. 12 for 27, 44% completion, 114 yards.
2 interceptions.
Long was 23, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Come on.
Has any Ohio State quarterback been good in the NFL recently?
No, and
No.
you get to watch another one today. Dwayne Haskins, Washington football team.
Washington football team.
I mean, this guy is horrendous. I can't believe I am the worst. Maybe we shouldn't take Kyle Trask. I am like the worst quarterback judge ever. I thought Jamarcus Russell was going to be good. I thought Marcus Mariota was going to be good. I just don't know what I'm talking
Was
about.
Joe Burrow any good this year?
He was okay. I mean, he's on the Bengals.
Yeah.
He's going to be out all next year, they say.
Yeah.
The Bengals love to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
I have Joe Mixon on my team. He's had a foot cramp since week 3. They're like, just sit out the rest of the year. We gave you $50 million. Just sit out. They did the same with AJ Green 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Hey, you tweaked your ankle? Just sit out.
We want you to recover.
Just sit out. We're paying you $60 million.
And you know, if any football franchise is just rolling in dough, it's the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's probably what they're trying. They're like, we need to figure the right time to unleash everyone and keep them healthy until that point. Although I guess in their mind, if you're looking at it from a business perspective, you're like, well, we're not getting fans anyway. So it's like, they're not going to be showing up for Joe Mixon. So we might as well just keep him out. We suck. No point in getting them injured. We're not selling tickets. You're going to say something? Oh, I thought you were jumping in before.
You know, if you cut your beard correctly, you'll look like Trask.
He's not wrong.
I don't know. I'd actually look like a guy who fought last night, Canelo Alvarez.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, bring
1-2.
up Canelo, dude.
1-2.
Yeah,
TKO or KO?
Went to the cards. I watched the entire thing. It was a great fight. I mean, Canelo Alvarez
Shorter, too.
was like half the guy's
Yeah.
height, dude. The other guy was 27-0. And there's something to be said about, I mean, he was just walking forward, not afraid of anything, dodging
The whole time.
every single punch.
The whole time.
I mean, he made this guy look like a fool. Were you looking?
I'm looking.
Canelo?
He looks a little bit like you.
Thank you.
I got to see where you got to shave your beard first.
You need a back left shoulder tattoo, too.
No. Look him up with a beard, dude. Look him up
Get
with
the
a
beard
beard.
photo.
I'm doing this all wrong.
Oh,
Use
for
the
fuck's
ThinkPad.
sake. But he looks really good, and he's only 30.
He united the belts last night, too, right?
I don't know how all
I think
that
he did.
works. They were trying to explain
Oh,
at
I
the
can
end.
see that.
Yeah,
100%. His beard's a little more red, but
yeah. I need to dye it. I need a dyed red
I need to
beard.
dye my red beard.
Yeah, I've always said I look like a mixture. If they all like got together and swirled up their specimens, I look like a mixture of Canelo Alvarez, Chris Hemsworth. Not to toot my own horn, but and Haley Joel Osment. So I threw that one in there just so I'm not a complete. Yeah, look up Haley Joel Osment.
I know what he looks like. And he looks good.
Speaking of,
He looks good.
McGregor came back from his Portugal training camp just this week, declared only one thing at customs: his genius. Quote it. What are you declaring? My genius. Only thing he declared.
That's going to be a great fight too. Coming
End of
up,
January.
I think January 20th, maybe. I don't know what the date is, but yeah, let's get into a little bit of McGregor.
McGregor.
Dude, that's going to be a really tough fight. He's fighting Dustin Poirier, who's real. McGregor beat him once, but that was when he was super young, Poirier, and he's gotten way bigger since then. So is McGregor, actually.
So is McGregor.
But he's a tough dude. In his last fight, like, it was brutal. It went like all the rounds, and it was just a bloody mess. But I think it's gonna be a really hard fight for McGregor, and hopefully he pulls through. I mean, there's no bigger McGregor fan than me, but I don't know. The Cowboy one, you can't really judge because it's like Cowboy's toast, and he came in, he destroyed him in like 40 seconds, but you can't really judge. If I need to see him go a little longer, just because I'm worried if Dustin goes the full 5. I don't know if it'll be a 5, actually. I don't know if there's any belt on the line.
What's the age difference? Because McGregor's what, 32? 33?
I think he's 31.
31.
And so they're both fine. But
you got Jake Paul calling him out now.
Jake Paul, yeah, well, we'll get to that. He so I don't know. The thing about McGregor is his cardio, so I want to see it go further, and we'll see. It's going to be good.
You can only drink so much Irish whiskey before you get cardiomyopathy.
Yeah. We will be. I'll be in Florida. I'll be doing another podcast, actually. I talked to my buddy Donnie. We'll be doing a full McGregor.
Oh, excellent.
It's a McGregor month.
Excellent.
We'll be doing a McGregor month on the Sunday Punch. It's all McGregor all month.
Chicago Bear.
Florida Gator.
Florida Gator. Conor McGregor.
Now, he would be a great alumni. Forget about Matthew McConaughey. Conor McGregor.
They are not mutually exclusive. Let's get them both in a box, just getting fired up at a game. Speaking of quick hot take here, Kyle Pitts will not play in the bowl game. Will enter the NFL draft.
Yeah, I could have called that. What bowl you think it will be in? It doesn't matter.
Orange last year, I don't know.
Is Kyle Trask going to play?
I don't know.
Because they might sit him too. I mean, you got Emory.
And run with the Emory Jones experiment.
Well, that's going to be all next year, dude.
That's fair. That's fair.
He can run.
That's fair.
You think he'll be good?
No. No.
No. Damn. I was really hoping you'd
But our
say
defense
yes.
will be amazing next year.
Oh, yeah.
As long as we get a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, I was texting Sean last
Charlie
night.
Strong.
I said, yeah, we need to get Charlie Strong back. I was texting Sean. I was like, I would fire this guy at halftime.
The defensive coordinator?
Yeah. Todd Grantham.
It does seem like they don't know what they're doing on defense.
Yeah, it's not just like a talent thing. I mean, they don't know where to go.
Yeah.
They're leaving people like the one cross was like wide open, and that was after the interception.
Yeah.
And it was just wide. It was like you're not if you're gonna play zone, you kind of have to know like what zone you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at that point, and I texted you to this too. Why not just say, forget everything we taught you. This is backyard football now. You get him.
Yeah, just line
and
up.
that's that.
Line up.
And we'll have 2 safeties in case he gets by you. But that's it.
Just play man.
That's all you're gonna do. Like I don't understand. Like I guess football is more complicated than I think. But
Definitely not.
but it's like, well, why not just say, all right, look, you're an athlete. He's an athlete. Guard him.
Line up.
That's it. I mean, we're obviously not stopping them.
And since it's harder to be a cornerback than a receiver, you got safeties.
Oh, we figured this out already.
We've already solved it.
We would have won.
All right, what's left for this episode? What else we got to touch on here?
I don't know. What did I say?
I need a 2-minute break.
2-minute break.
He's going to the bathroom.
We lost
Mike.
I think that's pretty much all of it. Unless you want to say one or two more final words on the McGregor fight. Testing.
Dude, I want to say that I was really wrong about Patrick Williams for the Bulls. I'm watching a lot of Bulls preseason basketball. He's good. I don't know what highlights I was looking at. I was obviously that was like in our first podcast where I was like nervous and was just like, he went to FSU. He's probably not that good. No, he's smooth. He's a smooth. He can dribble. He's got a smooth little. I've seen him do like a little turnaround. I've seen him do a floater. He looks really good, and I'm excited about that draft pick now.
Seems like he fits in with the system pretty well too.
Yeah, I think
They're rolling well.
Billy wanted him. Billy wanted him bad, so it looked good to me in the preseason. We'll see. Regular season's right around the corner. Did you? Here's this is what I wanted to touch on, and this is what the Gators needed last night, and this is what the Bears need. In fact, this is what all Chicago sports need.
Mm-hmm.
They need Kyrie waving sage around. Did you see that
On the court?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
He's Native American.
Why
You didn't
was
know
he
that?
doing? Oh, come on.
Yeah, he's a little bit.
He
native.
has a Hamza
He's
tattoo
native.
on his shoulder.
He's a Native
He's
American.
not a Native American.
He's Native
Is he?
American.
Is he actually?
Well, that's what he said he's doing media interviews.
What did he
again.
do a 23andMe and figure this out?
Probably. Weird thing about
I'm gonna
Kyrie,
research this.
took Native American history at Duke. Got a C.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. Which is weird because he's Native.
Well, he was learning the white man's version of his history, which is clearly
Well, he left the
a
class after that.
bastardized version of that.
He left the. Well, there was no sage.
Kyrie Irving, Native American? ?
Yeah. I want to ask Dirty Mike about this. Did you see Kyrie Irving burning sage on the court?
No.
Yeah, he's Kyrie Irving is Native American.
Superstitious?
Well, no, he's a Native American, so his new thing is burning sage on
Is
the
he
basketball
really?
court. I don't know.
Kyrie, oh, wow. We're looking at a video from
Kyrie-
2018.
Kyrie
Kyrie
Irving
Irving finds new name and new family on North Dakota reservation. This is Kyrie with diamond stud earrings, some nice white button up, and then some beads and a feather coming off the right side of his head.
Did you see what
Holy
Charles
smokes.
Barkley had to say?
No, please.
Type in Charles Barkley, Kyrie Irving.
Look at this.
Charles Barkley's old school, man.
This is crazy.
I mean, at a certain point, when you get too much money, I think you might go insane.
He was given the name
No, the
Hela,
thing is-
which means
the
little
thing is, the
mountain
more-
in the Lakota language.
Oh, Little Mountain.
The more talented you are, the less you have to like adapt to the world. And I
Yeah.
think you just gotta. There's something weird there. Like remember Justice Beaver,
Justice Beaver.
Yeah,
crime-fighting beaver.
the crime-fighting beaver, but he had like the DUIs and the marijuana use, and then got in trouble and fixed his life. You gotta you gotta have a little bit of friction there.
Justice Beaver.
Crime-fighting beaver.
Yeah, let's look up. Yeah, just type that. I bet that has the quote in it.
So here it is from...
For the win. Yeah. So here we go. Yep, that's it.
So this is the Via Nets Wire.
Charles Barkley.
Is this Charles Barkley here?
Charles Barkley on Kyrie Irving. Go ahead, Sean.
Quote, and when he talks, I'm like, quote, what the hell is he trying? What is he saying? And what is he trying to say? End quote. He starts talking about what an artist is. He's a basketball player. That's what he is. Listen, we're not frontline responders. We're not teachers. Yo, man, you dribble a basketball. Stop acting like you're the smartest person in the world. Now, can you talk about social issues and things like that? Of course. But some of this other stuff, I'm like, yo, man, you do realize you're just a basketball player, right? And it seems like he's like, no, I want you guys to realize I'm the smartest guy in the room. End quote.
I mean, that is what he's doing. That's classic Kyrie.
That is really hilarious.
That's a subjective reality, man.
He's a destructor. Well,
Look up the video. I want you to watch him burn sage on the
Jared
court. You'll love it.
Snitsky has said this for years, that he thinks Kyrie's just team poison. And I think he's been right every time.
Well, we'll see this year. Dude, it would make everyone so angry if that guy won the championship.
Oh, my God.
Kyrie.
Yeah, he's like Game 7 burning sage.
Well,
Cleanses the court.
He had to cleanse the court.
You
Oh.
have to make a sacrifice to the
Oh,
gods.
God. Look at USA Today. That's why you don't have any
Here we go.
prescribers.
Prescribers.
Subscribers. Because you make everyone give you the email
Yeah.
address.
Let my ad blocker go.
Oh, there he goes.
Here he goes.
Look
just
at that
fanning some
sage.
sage around.
Look at that sage.
This is a Native American tradition.
Yeah, you cleanse the air by adding smoke to it. Look at Little Mountain go.
We're going to... You go, Hella.
Look at Little Mountain go. Now,
Great.
what if he did this? Now, what would he explain to himself if he did the sage and then first play tweaked his ankle?
Yeah, what will be the situation there?
Yeah, I don't know.
And is this going to be? Is this like a beginning of season thing? Is this like a?
No, he says he's going to do it every single time.
Do we even know it's sage?
Well, is that any different?
Oh, he's got a little wooden bowl there that he snuffs it out in. He's got a little mortar and pestle
Yeah, he's got a little
right next to
wooden
his
bowl.
iPhone 11.
Is that any different?
Because he's traditional, but also with the times.
Well, he's an artist.
And he's an artist and a philosopher king.
Right next to his
Kyrie.
iPhone X.
And then they pass him basketball and he gets going.
But what's the difference between that and LeBron doing that chalk thing? at the
Nothing. LeBron is as bad as Kyrie Irving. You don't have to convince me of anything, dude.
You convinced yourself, man.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
You
Wait,
need
talk in
some
your
more
mic
Pri-
again.
You need some more Prilosec?
There we go. Hey, do we have any new Chicago artists we're going out on today with our outro? Or is it going to be...
So I hope that Mike has been recording this entire time.
Do you think it's not?
Oh,
Oh, there it is.
we've
I
had
see.
him.
Yeah, he's just a nice little light
I've been
voice.
watching him.
Little light voice. We're going to go out. I found a guy named Rolland.
Rolland.
Yeah, and he has a song named See Me, period. It's pretty good, and it's a local artist, and we'll, not Chicago. He's a Florida local artist. And we're going to go out on his song today. Couldn't get the rights to the Oscar-winning...
That I had
he
Adam
sent me.
DM.
He was like, "Hey, can you ask this guy if we could go out on his song?" I look it up. It's like the Oscar-nominated actor from Blind Spotting. I'm like, dude.
He really needs our PR.
Sean will figure it out.
I was like,
me a
yeah.
month.
I reached out to him. Weirdly, he didn't respond. He must be too busy working on a movie.
Mike, anything you want to give the viewership and listenership before we start heading out? Any final thoughts, closing ideas for 2021?
2021.
Yeah. Do you want to actually tell us what your job is now, or no?
I think scientist is good.
Okay.
Scientists.
Scientist is
Scientist.
good.
That's what I'm going to say.
A certain
In this episode, we talked to a scientist.
a certain mutual friend of ours may or may not have been on a dating app and put his occupation down as scientist rather than doctor.
Was that me?
It was not. No, well, maybe it was. You're not the one I was
like
thinking
something
of.
I would do.
Who?
I can't disclose.
Was it someone in Chicago or is it?
Disclose that
Oh,
either.
okay, so it was Iceberg.
It's confidential information.
Well, it's not a bad thing. Hey, it's a conversation starter. What kind of scientist? I would have to talk about that over drinks.
Also claim to have a secret talent of being the guru of curating Spotify playlists. The lucky lady he's been seeing pulled up his Spotify, not a single playlist.
He was just
That's true.
He was
That's
just
true.
telling people, like on the dates, like, "Oh, I have great Spotify."
It was like
playlist."
one of his facts on the
Oh,
Bumble thing, like secret talent, amazing Spotify playlist curator. She pulls up his Spotify, not a single playlist.
Are we talking about you, Sean?
No, no chance.
Right. Oh,
He
I know
knows who he is. He's
I
a
know.
listener.
I know what we want to. Oh, okay.
He's a listener. He knows who he is.
I do want to go out as is tradition, and we're not past the Christmas point yet.
No?
Dirty. Hey, dirty. Baby, I want your money. Favorite Christmas song?
Oh man, it's got to be Carol of the Bells, man.
Yeah!
Dude, you and
My
Sean.
favorite.
Oh wow!
You got to get
great minds think
the
alike.
boys' choir is the best one.
The boys' choir.
All the eunuchs in the back.
Oh yeah.
We don't do that these days.
Yeah, it's a shame. And it's
It
a
is
shame.
We've lost something culturally with that.
Best Christmas movie?
Oh, best Christmas movie. What were your guys' answers? Your
Oh, okay.
answers?
I was Family Man.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Love Actually.
Oh God.
My that's
48 Laws of
That's
Power.
a bad choice. That's a good choice.
Thank you. He pointed at me for good choice, people.
Watch Mike's
I
be
think-
Elf.
Elf is fun.
Hey, it is a funny movie.
Elf
I
is
think the
funny.
one that I watched as a kid is Santa Claus. The Santa Claus.
Oh, with Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
I can't recall.
This week I watched.
I
It's a
did.
kid's movie.
No, I watched it, but I just haven't watched it lately.
Not my favorite, but I rewatched Jingle All the Way.
It's
That was pretty good.
It's me.
Dad. I like how he does that. It's clear.
Somehow to
Yeah,
help it.
your dad has an Austrian accent and his visor is see-through. How did you not know it was your dad the whole time? He's like, "Come here, son," and then he lifts his see-through visor with his Austrian accent, and his son's like, "Dad,
Blown away.
wow, you were Turbo Man this entire time.
Then I used to fight that giant Easter squirrel.
Come here, oh, get in the childhood, die."
Did you all ever come to a point in your life where you realized that Santa wasn't real? Or
Wait,
What?
like when did you realize that Santa wasn't real?
It was. I'm gonna be honest. It was pretty late for me. I mean, I remember being in like the 4th grade and still believing.
You're a believer
I was a believer.
I would say early middle school, like 6th grade.
because you want to believe it.
6th grade.
Yeah, is
Damn,
that
that's
late?
really late.
Is that late?
I would
I
think.
think that's about right for me too. Somewhere in the
6th grade?
4th to 6th
Yeah.
grade
Yeah.
range.
That's about
Because
it.
I like kept thinking like, even at that point, I was like, all right, because like all the kids were like talking about it. You know, all the fucking evil
I
parents
know.
who were like, "Oh, let me tell you that Santa Claus. Good job, great parenting." And then they would come in and they'd be like, "Oh, you know, Santa's not real." And so then I was like thinking, all right, he's not giving me all the gifts, but then like I had like thought to myself, I had like wrangled this like
I thought the
explanation.
same thing.
I was like, all right, he's not giving me all the gifts, but there's at least 1 or 2 that he gives.
Personally,
I
I
thought
think
so
too.
I think this should be a secret that you're not told about
Yeah.
until you have your own child.
Well, no one told me.
Or like that, like other kids should know. I think all parents should agree it's a universal secret.
Yeah, just keep
until
going. What does it matter?
your child has their own kid, then you go, by the way, that's been us, and now you got to do it for yours.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
would love to. Well, I'm gonna.
I would love to be like 38 and get surprised on that.
Well, I am going.
Hold on. your whole world.
And that's my timeline for children.
Well, well, I'm gonna keep my future kid, if I have one, honest by 1 year will just be the coal year. I'll give him a lump of coal and said, I don't know what you were doing in your bedroom, but he sees everything. So I guess
You got to do it really early too.
yeah. It's like, you tell him about Santa, like the folklore and everything. He has a great Christmas, and then the next Christmas is the coal year. Just to keep him
Starts
honest.
thinking he's invincible.
Just to keep, because then that kid will go in to school, and when the kid says, Santa's not real in 4th or 5th grade,
no.
you'll be like, no, dude, he gave me coal 1 year. And then all the rest of the kids, it'll just be like another 2 years before they're like, wait, no, his dad is just evil or
It's
something.
like a time bomb
but
you're
it would extend it for a little period.
It'd buy
of
you time.
Yeah.
Do you think kids make Christmas lists on the computer these days? 'Cause
Oh,
I
that would
remember
be
writing
lame.
it down, man.
Oh, you got to write that down. Crayon?
Oh wow! If you make it on the computer,
That's
just kill yourself.
Just email it to Santa@northpole.com. Like, how does that
you
work?
create a
I
Gmail?
wonder, do you?
You know what's crazy is remember back in the day, as a kid, you'd get all your ideas off of commercials on TV.
Yeah,
What do they
or
get
a
nowadays?
magazine.
Or a magazine. What do they get nowadays? Like the internet? I don't know.
Yeah, they probably just type in like best gifts of 2020.
That's true. And if
Yeah,
you're
like number one result is like coronavirus.
and if you were
test.
like in advertising, you could like set it up so that when those words are searched,
oh yeah. Oh,
Like,
that's definitely being.
what do you
done,
want
for
up
sure,
top?
For sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's already being done.
Oh my god. That's been done for years probably, and I'm just figuring it
Yeah,
out.
you're like, wait a second.
Wait a
Google
second.
search exists.
And it's learning.
Dude, that's the gift of 2020 is how deep does a rabbit hole go? That's the gift.
Oh, majorly deep. You don't want to know. It gets dark. It's real dark.
Triple H Chan.
Triple Eight Chan. We have the documents, Joe. Okay, you want to hear the whole enchilada?
I do. 79 days.
Mike, what is your
79 days of hell. The real goal of this podcast is to eventually get Alex Jones to agree to come on.
100%.
Whether you agree with him or not, if you don't want him on your show, then I just don't know what
man
you're
is
doing.
damn entertaining though.
That is
We need
spot
to
on.
get the Spotify sign off.
The
I
man
don't
is
want it to
damn
be
entertaining.
banned immediately. We'd get like 4 hours, and then we'd just be like, Spotify would be like, no, you're not.
could never
You're not
produce.
Joe Rogan. We're not gonna publish this.
Speaking of, can you only get Joe Rogan stuff on Spotify now? Because I think it's
It's
stopped
on
publishing.
YouTube. You can get on
You can
YouTube.
get on YouTube.
On YouTube?
still.
Okay, my
Yeah.
normal outlet has not done anything past Emily Harrington, which I think was the end of November.
The problem is, the problem with Spotify is I've been trying to look for it, and they're like out of order and not up to date. And I'm
Oh.
like,
I
what?
think they're definitely curating it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He says they're not, but you gotta wonder.
I think he has some freedom on YouTube.
Oh, but they're like, we're only gonna publish on our platform.
Yeah, I don't know what the who knows.
He does. Yeah, he doesn't tell.
Who knows?
He's like making it seem like, oh, it's all cool. They don't care. It's like, no, dude. Once you sign that contract, they care.
See,
Before we
that's-
go out, I want to get my Christmas gift for Mike really quickly.
Oh,
You got me a
yay!
Christmas gift.
I gotta give him one coming
a
up.
live Christmas gift.
What do y'all want for Christmas?
Well, you're getting green lights, bro. So just expect that next time. Oh, you misplaced it.
Is this gonna be Prilosec?
It's probably good old proud. No, Sean, it's one of those super expensive wine bottles you have. Yeah, it's that one that's wrapped. That's what it was. The super nice He's just gonna give you a $20 bill.
That goes a
Sean's
lot.
looking through his wallet.
So,
What is this?
So
It's a black card.
this was purchased by me shortly after Thanksgiving because we shared Thanksgiving together, the three of us.
Yeesh.
Oh,
This is good for one free haircut at
Yeah.
Full
Oh, my
Barbershop. That's a $30 value right there, baby.
Dude, look at that.
it expires in a year.
End of this
Wow.
year.
Wow.
You could
This is
wait
free.
for a full year.
January 2021. It
Thanks.
You
expires.
could wait for a full year.
Is this a suggestion to me?
Carrie may or may not have waited on that one.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Mike's hair looks beautiful.
I think
in
it's
my,
great.
In my humble opinion.
One of the-
it's almost McConaughey-esque, if you will.
Yeah.
Look at you, Mike.
That
I
or
just
like
gotta get it
that.
back.
Green lights
Yeah.
right
See, he's
there.
got like a kind of a mullet deal going on.
You need to slick it if you want to be Matthew, though.
Man,
You
and then
got
you
the
have-
beard going and everything.
he's
and then you
cool.
have to sit pensively.
And wear a pinky ring.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
That's
I kind of I draw the line there.
Only Matthew McConaughey could make that look cool, by the
What
way.
did you guys ask for Christmas?
What did I get or ask?
Ask for?
Oh, I haven't gotten a Christmas gift in like 8 years, dude.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
From your family?
No, I don't get Christmas
Family?
gifts. There's like 5 nieces and nephews. I think they give a fuck about the guy talking to himself.
I asked every member of my family to give me one book. to pick a book they thought I should read.
Oh, I would
Give
love
to
that.
me.
Yeah.
That's what I asked for.
I'll
So
let
we'll
you
see.
borrow that book. How about that?
And apparently Adam's on my family text because he got it too.
Hell yeah,
He
dude.
got me one.
Got
So
you green.
That's what I asked for.
Green
Nice.
lights. Yeah, no, I didn't ask for anything. Well, that's a depressing note to end on.
Let's go out.
But if I were to ask for something,
Pay attention, family.
damn, what would it be? Probably
Super Bowl ticket.
You know, that's too much. Just like some good records, or I like a good
Yeah.
book. Good whiskey. Never hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I could use some sunglasses too. But really, I don't care. I really don't care.
How about you, Mike?
I don't know, man.
He asked the question and has no answer for.
I probably need some new underwear. That's
There we
Oh,
go.
dirty
listeners. Send
Mike,
my
dirty
underwear.
Mike.
We'll take anything.
Oh
that,
man,
that
hey.
part's not dirty. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for us. Here's Adam's sandwich between two guys with pineapples on their shirts.
Hell yeah.
We're ready to go.
I wouldn't take it any other way. Anyway, we have now in 3, 2, 1 have hit an hour 30.
That's
on this
pretty good. Is
That's
that our
pretty
longest?
good. That's our longest podcast. I think this is a good one.
Loved every second. of
Mike,
it.
you enjoy it?
Thanks for having me.
You'll come back?
Invite me back.
All
I
right.
will. We will.
I'll come spend.
Hey, perfect timing. It's football time.
It's football time. Kickoff.
Can I stick around or no? Dirty, you sticking around?
I've got nothing to do today.
Hundo P. Let's ride.
All right. Well, we're gonna throw on some football. Hope everyone enjoyed.
Thanks, listeners.
Next, are we gonna do one? No, that's Christmas.
I'll be gone.
2 weeks? No, you'll be gone. So 3 weeks until we get Sean Con again.
Mhm.
3 weeks until Sean Con comes back, but I'll be in Florida doing it, and then I'll be back doing a Bears reaction.
Love
So
it.
Tune in.
Tune in. Thanks, everybody.
Donka.
See ya.
I don't wanna wait by late night, sitting on the floor with a glass of wine now. Feeling like it's way too late, feeling down, thinking about taking you around town now. Maybe I don't wanna take the time it just takes to know. And I don't wanna wait for love. Every night I feel like it's the same. Can anyone tell me how it got this way? All the thoughts I might just go insane. And I blame. Is there anyone to see me right now? Is there anyone to feel me right now? Or am I alone in this town? In this town? Is there anyone who feels me right now? Is there anyone who sees me right now? Or am I invisible to all that walk my way? And I don't wanna stay for long. Anywhere you tell me, baby, I'm on the road right now. I don't wanna take this away from you, willing. Gotta go right now. I got no time for more lies. Gotta go right now. Every night I feel like it's the same. Can anyone tell me how it got this way? All the thoughts I might just go insane. And I blame. Is there anyone to see me right now? Is there anyone to feel me right now? Or am I alone in this town? In this town? Is there anyone who feels me right now? Is there anyone who sees me right now? Or am I invisible to all that walk my way? I never knew this life was so hard, so far away. Can anyone else tell me if this feeling's here to stay? I'm hurting now and I can't think straight. My guiding light is dim right now. Please help me elevate. Is there anyone to see me right now? Is there anyone to feel me right now? Or am I alone in this town? this town.